highly skilled guys, right, against two guys that have a lot of heart. I'm not saying that they're not skilled, but I mean,
he draws power from the state of California.
He does.
That's it. His source of energy. He goes away and he gets beat up, but when he's in.
Welcome to MMA MADE, the best MMA show in the world. I'm Mighty from Over Manor. Devin, Debo, Taylor.
Champ is here.
Is that kind of too much to say that we're the best MMA show in the world?
Well, I mean, I'm the champ, so like it just, and you're with me.
And I'm the brains behind the whole thing, so.
No.
See, like
no,
every good fighter has a trainer behind him. So you can be a champ, but you're only as good as your trainer.
So you're like the Jackson. You're like the Greg Jackson who's like, yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. You kicked him. No, he hit you in the face. That didn't hurt. That doesn't mean anything. Don't worry about it.
So I was going to go with Customato Mike Tyson. Because you're a little bit crazy.
You're cuss?
And you probably bought off some, well, I'm white and I'm getting old.
True,
so I thought it was a good analogy.
Okay.
And I think you're crazy enough to bite off someone's ear.
That
so
was once.
I think it would work. It would work. Get the tattoo.
Ooh,
you know?
I like that.
You know?
It's just here?
Exactly.
Because it will cover some of my face.
And that's what we're hoping for. And I think the viewers can agree that that's what I'm thinking you should do.
This side. And then I'll have
both sides.
So you just
cover it all up. Matter of fact, if you just leave your hands like that for the rest of the show, you're doing us a favor, huge favor.
Great Crush, let me know what you want me to do, because if this works for you, this is the...
What about like a purple mask?
Ooh,
like
purple.
Zorro.
I can make it purple, Crush.
Yes.
Let me know.
Yes. Anyways, get into the actual show. MMA is what we do. And gosh, this past weekend, one of the best fights in UFC history, heavyweights, Antonio Bigfoot Silva against Mark the Super Samoan Hunt. Give me your thoughts, man. Excellent fight.
What do they say? Drop down, drag them out, knock them down, rock them, sock them, robots. I mean, two guys, all heart, trying to kill each other.
I mean, it was nothing to fall asleep at unless you were median highly medicated and you fell asleep for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, you were on that scissor. You were.
And I don't even know how, dude. And then I see it and I'm like, how am I falling asleep during this fight?
I was on the edge of my seat. I was like going crazy watching. I knew someone was about to get dropped. I mean, Mark's got him. He's mounted. Bigfoot's got him mounted. I mean, it was back and forth. These guys just killing it. And I look over and you're just passed out.
Passed out, dude. Just like sleeping.
I thought about taking advantage of you, but after a while it gets old.
Because I thought you pretty much did.
A little bit.
Okay.
Well, why do you think you were drowsy in that room?
I was like, damn it. There was actually quite a few notable fights on that card. I mean, you can't take anything away from the main event, but your boy, Shogun Hua.
Yes!
He got it.
What do they say? Old Shogun's back?
Old Shogun's
Every time
back,
he wins,
baby.
old Shogun is back.
Yeah.
And when he loses,
then
he needs to work on his cardio.
Exactly.
And he's had a lot of fights, so it's not his fault. But old Shogun's back, baby.
Old Shogun's, and he knocked out Tehuna badly.
Just a little,
it was
the left?
It was dirty.
I taught him that, because I got the left, so I taught him the...
Nice. Was it a left? I thought it was a right.
No, it was a left, because then he was swinging with the right with bad intentions.
He was like throwing it all.
But before the right came, the left knocked him out, and then the right was just...
And you know what it kind of reminded me of? As Tehuna's head flipped backwards, it reminded me of like a Pez dispenser as a kid, because it kind of like...
Because the whole head...
Yeah, the whole head was just like lifted backwards, and I was like, damn, that probably hurt a little bit.
Yeah, as soon as he hit him, he was asleep, and then his body forgot, so his body had to drop. It was
not pretty. But let me ask you about your boy, Ken Wall, comes out with a freaking
Why is that my boy?
bear.
Why is that? Can that be your boy?
Well, it could, but since I jumped on it first, now it's your boy. See, if you jumped on it first.
But I look more like mini Hector Lombard, who went in the ring and beat the hell out of Ken Wall.
Yes, he did.
So that should be my boy. And you got a big head, so you look like the guy
I don't look
wearing...
like a teddy bear.
But kind of.
Anyways, look at this picture right here. So right here you can see that Ken Wall is walking in with his corner in a whole bunch of Furby outfits is basically what it is.
But that kind of looks like you behind him with the elephant one.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I don't even know, but it was. I think Alex Garcia beat the hell out of him just because he walked in with such a ridiculous costume on.
In his country, the Dominican Republic, it is a great insult and disrespect to dress up as a teddy bear before you go to fight somebody.
Damn it.
So he felt disrespected, and he walked into the octagon, and he beat the hell out of him.
Well, you know what I will say? That was Alex Garcia's debut to the UFC, and much like a lot of hype around him, there was a lot of hype around Hector Lombard, which is kind of like the mini-me, but unlike Hector Lombard, he actually performed for his opening fight.
Well, Hector Lombard didn't get to fight a Furby in his intro to the UFC, so interesting. But it was good to see him win. I mean, he had a good fight. Alex Garcia is for real.
Good fight and good night on that one right there.
That's one Furby down.
10 to go. We don't know who the 10 are, but we're going to find out.
He's going to keep fighting Furbies and throwing them in the ring, and he's going to keep knocking them out.
All right, well, that was last week's card. Now we're going to touch quickly on this coming weekend's card, and that is in our area, Sacktown, NorCal, baby, with the one and only Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber.
You're like a big Uriah Faber.
You know, right there, the butt chin.
You got the butt chin.
Well, you got to show it with pride if you got it, right?
I don't have a butt chin. No. I only got one butt, and it's my real butt.
But that card is, for a free fight card on Fox, it's stacked. Now, granted, they had a lot of changes. You had Anthony Pettis originally to fight on that card for the main event for the title against Josh Thompson, and that got scrapped because of injury. And then we also had Matt Brown versus Carlos Condit, and that just got scrapped. But at least for the main event, they brought in another title fight. They were able to move Demetrius Johnson versus Joseph Benavidez to at least fill that void. So what are your thoughts on this card coming up?
Should be good. You know what? I actually think the best fight is on the prelims. Well, I'm looking forward to my boy, Edson Barbosa, who likes to kick people in their face.
Wait, is that the dude that got his ass beat by Jamie Varner?
I don't know what you're talking about, but he's now back on another win streak. And I see him putting another high head kick on Danny Castillo. Gonna put him out.
Wow.
I'm excited about that one. That's my boy. Dude. I think he's going to climb again. He has one loss to Jamie Varner. Jamie Varner got lucky, but he's going to be champ one day.
You know what? Great fighter. I will not deny that. But the alpha male guys are on a tear right now.
But Danny Castillo's like the little brother of the alpha male guys, so I'm not really worried about him.
But isn't he on like a 3 or 4 fight win streak?
He's still the little brother. Sometimes you let little brother win, but eventually you got to put him to sleep.
Eventually little brother grows up and puts the whooping on you for real.
Well, we'll see. It will not be his coming weekend, I'll tell you that.
Well, I know I'm interested to see in all the fights. I'm excited to see them all, especially when you can see such a great card. Potentially a great card.
Potentially. You never know.
For free. You can't beat free.
Free 99, as I like to say.
Free 99 minus the 99.
But
so it's all free.
So it's just free? Okay.
Yeah, because if it's free 99, you still have to pay a little bit.
But you call it just like that's just what I say.
It just makes it sound a little more.
Like instead of $3.99.
No, I get the analogy, but then it takes away free because you're paying 99 cents.
I get it.
Okay, all right. Moving on, what we have is December 28th, arguably the fight that could potentially take the fight of the year away from Mark Hunt and Bigfoot. Although
it's not going to happen. That's still fight of the year because my boy Anderson Silva, he doesn't know how to spell. I don't know how to spell. It's just D-A Spider with, I think there's a Y. It's S-P-Y-D-E-R. He doesn't know how to spell that one either.
And you don't know how to say it. He doesn't know how to spell it.
He just walks in, he beats the hell out of some white dude, and he takes his belt and he goes home. That's really how it goes.
That's how it's going to go?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so say for instance...
Much like this show every week, I walk in, beat the hell out of some white dude, take my belt, I go home.
What kind of belt is that?
It's an imaginary belt so far, but eventually it'll be a real belt.
Well, you do happen to beat up your face with my fist. Now that always happens. We can't even talk about that. Okay. We're going to leave that aside.
It's such a pretty face.
So, I mean, okay, so because of how the first fight went, there's a lot of hype around this fight. there's potential. I don't think it's going to be fight of the year, but there's potential. But in the running, just to throw it in the mix real quick, since we're talking about fight of the year, Gustafsson, John Jones, definitely a contender for fight of the year.
Contender. That was a great fight. I think it's going to be tough to the number one seed definitely right now is Mark Hunt, Bigfoot Silva. I mean, the two of them just put on a great fight. Such heart. Really, both sides were really in it all the way, and it really does remind you of Shogun versus Dan Henderson in terms of two guys just giving it 153%.
Speaking of Dan Henderson, sorry to cut you off, but I was excited today. I did a little post on Instagram, and Hendo liked the post. I was like, wow, I didn't even thought he'd care. Maybe he doesn't care, but I was excited. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, wait, is this really him? Because it's like it could be anybody, but his Twitter's there. I clicked on it, and it's actually to his legitimate Twitter. So I'm assuming it really was him.
Nice.
Well, that was cool.
We appreciate it, Hendo.
Thank you, Hendo. Thank you.
We appreciate
for the
it.
love.
My boys over at Crush, they're going to send you some great Crush as a little shout out. We cross promote, so we appreciate the love.
The other fight on UFC 168, which is December 28th, which we were just talking about, co-main event, equally as exciting, if not more exciting, Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate. I mean, Stevie Wonder could see what's going to happen in this fight, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Leg lock?
Leg lock.
No.
Possibly a pile driver.
Oh.
One of those things. No, the only thing I could see, the only way, I'm sorry, Miesha, but the only way I see her be able to defend against that is if she went to the Bronx Zoo, hijacked one of those silverbacks, and started practicing arm bars against a big 650-pound gorilla. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Ronda Rousey, for those who don't know, she goes into every one of her fights. She pretends like she's going to fight, and instead she just grabs your arm and she breaks it. That's really what she does.
Snap.
She just grabs it, she snaps it, and you tap out.
And it wouldn't be the first time she damaged Misha's arm.
She has already broken her arm. Their previous fight, Miesha didn't want to tap. She just sat there and was like, I'm not going to tap. And then she snapped it and broke it. She said, I should have tapped. And then that was it.
And that was in the Strike Force promotion.
That was Strike Force.
Before they came over.
It's going to be the exact same thing.
It will. It doesn't really matter if it's under the Strike Force banner or the UFC banner. I think ultimately the result is the same.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
She breaks her arm.
Breaks it, just like gravy pours out of it.
Gravy doesn't pour out of people's arms.
I'm telling you, we had this discussion before, and
it doesn't make it true.
People call it bone marrow. I call it gravy. It's the same thing.
Oh,
only cannibals like to eat it on their meat.
Got it.
All right.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas,
well,
guy.
I can only hope. So yeah, that card is exciting. The other thing that I think we should touch on is Bellator. Bellator is actually on break right now. They're more of a TV series, so they do take a break. They're slated to come back sometime around February. But that doesn't mean things do not happen in the off season, right?
They do.
They do. You have the potential of dropping fighters and picking up fighters.
Exactly.
UFC fighters, they get in a rut, they go on a losing streak, whatever it may be.
They get the axe.
The axe. And top one right now, who do you think is slated potentially to go to Bellator next?
You know what? HD, Pat Barry. So long, buddy. I'm going to miss you. I enjoyed the high kicks. I enjoyed watching you get knocked out every single fight. And I'll be watching you on Bellator.
And it sucks, man.
Enjoy.
With Pat Barry, it's a knockout. It's either he's knocking somebody out or he's getting knocked out. Yeah. There's really no gray area. I don't think he's ever gone to a decision, at least in MMA, that I can recall.
I don't think so.
No, I don't believe so. And he's just a likable guy, and it sucks to see, hopefully we're wrong, but I would agree with you that he is probably slated.
I think they told him because as soon as he woke back up after his knockout this time.
After the Hulk beat the hell out of him.
They told him that he had lost because he didn't know where he was.
No.
And you could just see the look on his face. I think he knew this was it. So,
and that loss was just this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Australia against the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that was...
I think he's gone, but you know what? Bellator will welcome him with open arms, and they'll take real nice care of him.
You know what? There's no shame in that. Bellator is the second promotion of the UFC.
Even Bellator's cutting people.
Yeah.
So
they cut their champion, for God's sakes, Ben Askren. How ridiculous is that?
Well, he was so boring to watch.
Well,
no one enjoys that.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, you ain't lying.
Here's what you're gonna watch. You're gonna watch a guy go out there, grab another guy, jump on him, and stay there for about 5 minutes.
You know what you just described something else that I really don't want to get to right now on film. But I mean, first
is that something you do often? I don't know. What are you talking about?
It's possible, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
All right, let's not talk about that.
But you know what? Pat Barry going to Bellator, if that fact happens, he'll dominate, I think. The talent pool in Bellator is limited.
For the heavyweights, very limited.
Oh, very limited.
Very limited.
I mean, his top fighter is what? Chet Congo? Possibly. I mean, he's the one fighting for the heavyweight title next.
And that would be a great fight for Bellator to have again, because the last time they fought,
ridiculous,
unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
You're watching it, and you're pretty sure it's over, and you're watching finish him, and then all of a sudden, this guy, he finishes him, and then what?
And if you don't know what Devin's talking about right now, YouTube that, check it out. It's Pat Barry versus Chet Congo.
Unbelievable.
It was about 2 years ago, roughly, maybe a year and a half.
Neither one of them remember.
Neither of them remember because we barely remember.
Damage.
And basically, Pat Barry goes in. You think he beats Chet Congo by knocking him out. Somehow, he miraculously does. I don't even know. It was a crazy. It's one of the craziest fights I've ever seen. Just back and forth.
Bad luck, baby.
Oh man, it was ridiculous. It goes from one extreme all the way over to the other, and it's crazy.
Protect your head. You gotta protect your head. And he just came in, I gotta get up! And then just...
It was crazy.
Go to sleep.
Back on the subject of people, or excuse me, fighters that are in the UFC that potentially could be cut. Another one that comes to my mind, just fought this past weekend too, Nam Phan. A good fighter, but... same type of thing.
On a losing streak, he had some of that Ultimate Fighter, fame going for him, so they kept him around for a little bit. He's been changing up his weight classes, trying to find a better home, and I think he's on his way to Bellator. So you know what? UFC says, thanks a lot, so long, and I think Bellator is going to say, come on over, big guy.
Exactly.
Come on over.
Why not? I mean, he's got name recognition. And that
good
just helps
fighter,
out
great guy, he's likable, had a cool little season on Ultimate Fighter, and I wish him the best.
Yeah, why not? So, that pretty much wraps us up for the night. Keep it short and sweet. We bring you the news, we bring you the love. Once again, to my left, Devin Debo Taylor.
The champ.
And I'm Mighty from Over Manor. See you next time.
That's good.